Hey, folks, welcome to the Generational Gap. I am Robert, your resident Gen Xer, and the man that needs no introduction but demands them anyway. Right over there is John, your resident millennial. Welcome to the show tonight, John. How are you doing this evening, sir? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Yeah, I'm all right. Whatever.
Seems
Here.
like we've got a little bit of action early on in the chat. We've got a little bit of
Oh
Michael
yeah.
Vega
Haven't seen him
in
in
the
a while. What's
house.
up,
No,
bruh?
Henry rocketing in at first again.
Of course,
Um,
naturally.
then I see Wyatt from the Breakdown with Birkenhoff coming in, and Jay Edgar as well. Waiting for the boomer. I don't
So
know why they call you a boomer. I don't see you as a boomer.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to do with
Um,
this.
and then, of course, Wyatt wants to jump in with his little bit of sassiness. Uh-huh.
Very sassy.
Uh-huh. Hide behind your keyboard, pal. Hide behind your keyboard. I
Fight
mean,
me IRL, bro.
right?
1v1 me,
It's
bro.
yeah. Hide behind that keyboard, pal, and see what happens. See what happens. Absolutely nothing happens is what happens.
Right.
It's nothing. Elephant Man, D Live, yeah. Uh, you know, I'm just gonna say, uh, Vega, buy real silver. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's silver is one of those funny ones for me. It's it was always when I was growing up, silver was like it was like my jewelry of choice, right? I didn't like gold. I don't like the way gold looks. It's not my thing. So I would always buy silver rings, silver necklaces, everything like that, right? And silver was never really that expensive, but man, over the last 2 or 3 decades, silver has gone on a roller coaster ride, and it's like, are you playing the long game? Are you, you know, are you sitting on it? What are you doing? Are you
Yeah.
scrambling to get it, et cetera, et cetera? Um, but I think these precious metals are going to get much more precious in the coming days. Apparently,
Yeah.
there's some. I've seen a couple of different people here and there talking. Buy your precious metals. Oh, damn it! Why didn't you tell me that before I sold it to buy other stuff? Come on. But anyway, yeah. So Uh, Elephant Man says, "Bye GameStop. Good to see you tonight, Elephant Man." Wyatt says it's an easy win there. Yeah, it just depends on when you buy it and how long you hold on to it. That's your that's
Yeah.
your that's your funny thing. But Birch Gold gang, that Birch Gold. What's
The Ben Shapiro reference because Birch Gold sponsors him. So in the middle of his shows, we like, oh, but buy Birch Gold and stuff.
You remember the Gold Man here in Orlando, right? Were you
Yeah.
here for him? Right? You remember him, right? That was a fun guy to drive by and see sometimes. The boomer at the coin store said he was running out and demand be boomin'.
Damn.
Demand be boomin' for the boomer
Right.
at the coin store. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It's like where you go buy silver and sit on it, and then you just become a target. Not that anybody's going to know that you have it necessarily, but I mean, but then the idea that it's going to turn into some sort of, that's going to be the currency. Is that what you're
Yeah.
gambling on, or is it, are
I
you,
suppose that would be the case. Yeah, unless you know how to like smelt it
I
and
mean,
create jewelry and shit out of it. That you
are
could do
we
that with it, I suppose.
are we just going to collapse? Or are we going to only collapse back to the gold standard? I mean, that because we're off of that,
That could be
right?
pretty sweet. Yeah, that could be pretty sweet going back to the gold standard. I'd be all right with that.
But then that
I agree with
it's
Ed
a
though.
bottle caps. Save your bottle caps.
With those Nuka Colas, man.
Well, I don't know. I default to seashells. I think it's seashells. That's the best way to go. Um, you know, because you could just you could get more. You really could. There's a lot more seashells than there are
Right.
bottle caps, and
I mean, that's probably true. in the world.
And there's
Yeah.
so many different sizes, you could have a currency for all denominations, right? No
Well,
matter what.
you'd have to weigh them, I
Right,
imagine.
right. That would be
You could weigh
perfect,
the
right?
shells. Yeah. So you get like one big one, that's worth a lot because it's of its weight.
Do you
I don't know.
do you know how to use the three seashells?
This I've just got like serious deja vu. I think we've had this exact conversation
Is that possible?
before.
Uh,
Yeah. I
uh,
remember not knowing what it
so
was
this is a
last time.
rerun. What you're saying is this is a rerun?
Yeah. We're caught in a rerun, guys. Fuck.
Uh, no, he's just keeping it as currency to convert into new monies when dollar go blam. Well, yeah, but I mean, it's going to be a hard sell to get people away from currency. I could see, taking an economic gut punch to where we're bounced back to a gold standard, you know, but
Mhm.
I can't see us moving away from the physical dollar, right? Unless it goes to a purely digital currency. But I don't know that a digital currency could be backed on a gold standard. There would be no point because a digital currency can
Well,
be
I mean,
infinitely creatable, right?
gold has an actual value though, in that it can be used for like electronics and things like that. And there's other things it can be used for, but at least it has a practical use, so inherently has some value, and then you can back whatever else you're using on that. So I suppose it could work. Gold standard could work.
Um, what are the so now this is future speak coming, boomer question
Yeah.
maybe, but you know what what do you think the possibilities are of things switching or transitioning to a digital, excuse me, a social currency?
Um, I mean, I could see there being a social currency, but I don't see it as being like the primary source of currency, like actual money currency.
Yeah, Elephant Man says he wishes he could use the lemons that he has, and I agree with you there.
I
I
wish you
wish
could
you
use
could
them
too.
too.
I do.
Yeah.
I wish you could use them and just splash them all over us. I
Yeah.
do. But,
It'd be amazing.
unfortunately, there are supreme overlords everywhere you turn that want to supreme overlord you constantly.
Right.
And there's really not a lot we can do about that without gaming. The things that I've seen that I think I could do to get around that would be jeopardizing the channel on that site anyway. I think, but I'm not sure. Unless somebody knows, and if anybody's figured out a way on DLive how one's supposed to get around that, a legitimate way that
Yeah.
won't get us spanked, because if I'm going to get spanked, I like it to be done under my control, right?
Right,
I
of
want to be the one
course.
responsible for what happens there, not just inviting mad cap spanking. Henry says the petrodollar is dying. Look at the new administration,
Yeah.
the bills that are being voted on soon. Henry gets the digital Fed money is coming. Been seeing nothing but Visa ads for their new crypto card. They know what's coming. Oil is going. Henry says oil is going to go through the roof, but the dollar is going to
Hang
decline.
on.
Oh, that what?
The digital Fed money is coming. Michael Vega's comment there.
Right.
Visa adds a new crypto card. It's not just that either. I mean, I think it was Canada just recently went completely cashless. I think there's a lot of uh, I'm not sure what details are. I'm sure you can use, maybe they're just not printing anymore. I don't know what the deal is exactly with that, but I think they just went cashless, and then I think there's a few other countries that are either cashless or nearing cashless, and I mean we're seeing that with ourselves as well. We actually were slower, I think, though. I think the U.S. would be one of the last ones. We haven't even gotten rid of the penny yet. Canada did that fucking 10 years ago. Got rid of the penny. So I don't know. Maybe we'll be a little. Oh shit! What? Whoa! Hi, Ed.
Whoa. Well, looky
Suddenly, Ed.
there. Hi, Ed.
Just so you know, it's really outrageous that there's a movie that I have seen that John hasn't, because everybody knows I've only seen 5 movies in my life.
Which movie are we talking about?
Three Seashells.
Demolition Man.
Oh. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I know that's one of the movies I've needed to see. Don't think I have seen it.
Well, that's just stupid.
I suppose so. Yeah.
That's just if Ed's seen it, that's just fucking stupid that you haven't
I
seen it.
guess
Yeah.
so.
So you truly don't. Then you truly don't know anything about the Three Seashells.
I suppose I don't.
Wow, that's sad.
Enlighten me. And in fact, I think we've had the same discussion. I think you told me about it before. And
Yo,
I didn't know
I
what
went
it
in
was
the
back
bathroom,
then.
but why was there no toilet paper, huh? Oh, you used the 3 seashells.
Did you not see the 3 shells on the shelf?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually
like
only seen about half of that movie, but still, that's more than John has seen.
I've watched that movie
Sure.
probably a half a dozen to 10 times. And they never actually tell you how to use the seashells, just FYI.
Right.
Yeah.
Just use seashells. That's fine. I like it.
But Henry says the oil is going to go through the roof, but the dollar is going to decline. There's a short-term squeeze. Yeah. On the dollar that's in the works. Yeah, we're all fucked. So Ed has,
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know if you noticed, John, but Ed has dropped in tonight. He just
I
busted in.
did.
He actually,
Did.
he warned me that he might hack his way into our Zoom call tonight.
Oh my god.
So Ed has successfully done that. He
suppose so,
He
yeah.
didn't make good on his promise to be topless. You know, but what can you know, right?
It's not like I haven't done that on this channel before.
He has, yeah.
I just you know
I mean, if my hair
I
gets
want to
any
make
longer,
sure
I could
you
do my Styx impression.
I want you to make sure I wanted to make sure you knew and understood that it was appreciated is the important part, Ed. You know, it's highly appreciated when you do that, Ed. It's you know, it's one of those fun things for us. So how things going over in your neck of the woods?
It's not bad. We're going to get some snow again tomorrow, which I'm fairly excited for. I know that's that white stuff that comes out of the sky that you fuckers in America's ballsack never see.
Oh, in the 80s we called that cocaine.
I wish that came out of the sky.
Well, you know, nowadays they use money to make it rain. Back then we would be like, it's party, you know, just throw it up in the air and snort it off the ground, whatever, each other, you know. It was the good old days.
Yeah.
Back before the takeover.
The takeover.
Yeah. Yeah. So Ed, you the show's going good. You're doing fine there. No worries or anything.
Yeah, actually, I tried to talk Elaine into coming with me on our little Zoom bomb here, but she is out of energy for the day. So
Really? Does she not?
Unfortunately,
Do they have a limited amount of power that you can get on a daily basis? Like, is that part of the power company's thing, or
it's a Hoosier thing. You wouldn't understand.
I might. I grew up out that way. Wait, that's Indiana, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, close enough. I was in Oklahoma. I mean, you know, it's just a
Oh,
different
you must have
state.
gone over and got eggs from Ron then.
Just a different state that starts with a vowel. Yeah, I know Ron lives out there. He's shown up in the chat, by the way. Blob.
Yeah, what's up, Ron?
Throwing his opinion around because Ron has an opinion, and I like it. And it usually
That he
involves,
does.
It usually involves chicken. I want to get Ron on the show one of these days and just see
Yeah.
how pissed off how riled up we can get him. Not pissed off at
That would
us,
be-
but riled up. Because I just want to
That would be
hear him,
amazing.
right? I'd like to hear Ron go off on a rant or 10. But
I tried to get him to call in because I've actually got a physical phone number for my call-in show. So I
Oh,
know
yeah?
he's got trouble with the microphone.
you said physical, but do you have a fiscal phone number? No? Okay. You need to get on 1-900 line is what they used to be, charged by the minute.
God.
No, think about it. That would be a great way to monetize a call-in show. Is just do
Nobody's
it on
gonna want to call in like that.
If you-
Exactly.
Well, what's the difference between that and Patreon? right? $10, you pay $10 or whatever donation, and your comment is read on the air. What's
He's
the
got a
difference
point.
between charging 50 cents a minute for you to get on for 5 minutes, 10 minutes? You determine how long you want to talk, and that's your donation.
All
Dude,
right.
I think it's fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
Fair
but I'm
enough.
not going to beat off on the air for him either.
No.
Well,
Calm
you don't just
down.
show it. Oh, yeah. No, of course not.
No. They had pay-per-call lines for everything back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to get
Yeah,
a
I know. It
tarot
was a big thing for
reading.
video game tips was a big one.
I mean, you could pay $5 a minute for a fucking tarot reading, right? That was probably going to take 30 minutes,
I can read tarot without having to pay $5 a fucking minute.
right? So Ed, we were kind of talking about we kind of got on the subject of talking about money, and it kind of ties in with what the show was about tonight. There's a lot going on with the stock market today, the last couple of days, with this GameStop thing. I know we talked a little bit about it on Wednesday when it was really starting to pop off, but
And it all went worse somehow.
worse as in define worse. What's your take on your initial take on this?
Well, my initial take, once I actually figured out what the fuck was going on, because I didn't know until like Thursday what was actually happening with this. And this started probably, I think this started on Monday, midday. They started realizing this and started doing this here. But my big thing, of course, and I don't know if you guys saw what I put in my Discord just a bit ago, but some kids were playing Super Mario Brothers and took the time to figure out that if you were 20 frames or 20 pixels forward by doing various tricks in Super Mario Brothers when you had the vine up in World 4 2, that you could trick the pipe into sending you where the vine took you because of the glitch that they had in N8 in there. They could figure that out in 2000, and you're surprised that they couldn't figure out how to game the stock market system on Reddit 15 years later. People have way too much fucking free time on their hands.
Now, this is this is not bad for GameStop overall in the short term. Now, this won't necessarily. At worst case, they go back to where they were. They don't lose anything because this was just a short-term gain that was all hyper-generated. But they're starting to say they may be calling foul from the stock market. That it's being manipulated with this.
Of course they are,
But
because
isn't it just
the big
playing the
fucking
game?
no, it is just playing the game, and the big boys are losing fucking money on it. That's why they're calling foul on it from the stock market, and I say good.
Because they were all expecting GameStop to go under. Is that correct?
Not go under. They were expecting them to sit back and struggle on. And now, one thing to keep in mind with GameStop, and this has been pointed out in numerous podcasts for this, and I thought about this too. I mean, what happens every time a new console comes out? GameStop stock rises.
Right.
Yeah.
Every time.
Naturally.
Because that's one of the most reliable places you can still go and get a console on the day that it's released. I mean, yeah, you can Amazon order it and cross your fingers and hope for the fucking best, but one of the most reliable ways to do that is to sit in line and camp out outside of GameStop on the day that the damn thing is released. That's the most reliable way to get the new console. And they generally had enough in stock to, facilitate the need for their particular location. And there's a GameStop in every city. Somehow there's still a brick and mortar GameStop in every city. I don't understand how, but somehow, some way, they have been able to keep themselves above water enough that they can keep one in every major city. There's one in Racine and there's one in Kenosha.
Well, I think I understand one angle, and this is from having worked for a company that helped liquidate stock for GameStop.
Okay.
And here's what was interesting about GameStop at the time was they weren't liquidating what you would think they would be liquidating. It wasn't games, it wasn't consoles, it wasn't accessories and stuff, any of that. It was phones.
Mhm.
They were capitalizing on the mobile phone market, even though they weren't selling them. They were taking them in and
Yeah, they're taking
buying
them in and
them
refurbishing them.
and refurbishing, but a lot of them they were just selling,
Mhm.
um, on auction after the fact. As the phones started to get a little more outdated, they would sweep them out into auction, and they were making a killing off those, right? Compared to what they were giving in value.
Right.
So it was interesting when they got into the cellular market because that was all they traded on was used phones. They didn't
Mhm.
ever go into the new phone market really unless they, brought in like, unlocked phones and stuff like that. But
Well, that
uh,
was one of the magical parts about going to GameStop for that is, before insurance got really big, and even once insurance got really big, like if you drop your phone and smash the screen, and you are stuck. You don't have a landline anymore because nobody in the millennial generation has a landline anymore.
True.
Christ, the landline that I have for my call-in show is just Google Voice.
Right.
So nobody actually has a physical landline phone anymore. Plus, all your recipes that you saved are gone. Everything you've got backed up on Google is gone. Where you can just walk into GameStop while you're waiting for your new phone that you had the insurance on to come in the mail because you're lost without the goddamn thing and it's going to take 3 to 5 business days to get to you. You walk into GameStop with 3 years ago's Android off the shelf for $40 and you're at least moving.
well, if this is this whole thing that's going on, and it's not just GameStop that's being impacted by this. AMC
Mhm.
is caught up in this as
Which
well,
is amazing, by the way. I love
and,
it.
and then apparently another group on Reddit or a subgroup of this group is doing this with Dogecoin, which was the meme cryptocurrency, right? It was
Which I've
created as
purchased
on
$20 worth of, by the way.
right. So that's going. People are making chunks of money off that as that price is going up, 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 and it's a totally pointless currency. But their ideas, they're trying to make it the crypto equivalent of GameStop, as it were. Um,
And I told one of my coworkers that too. I'm like, dude, go home and buy Dogecoin and don't buy a big amount of it. Just throw $20 into it. And if it gets to Bitcoin levels, then you're fucking rich. And if it bottoms out, well, you're out $20.
Yeah.
right.
What are you gonna do? Spend that $20 on premium fucking porn on Pornhub anyway?
What's your point? But yeah, so no, it's the thing that stands out to me is, and I know a lot of this is going to be assumption, but based off what's happening, I see this as a millennial led thing. I don't necessarily. There may be some Gen Xers, fringe Gen Xers involved in it, but I thoroughly see this as a millennial move, a millennial fuck with at Wall Street.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Millennials, and I will say this, I'm at the very, very top edge of millennial. Like another couple years the other way, and I'd be a Gen Xer like you.
Gross.
Whatever.
With that,
You'd be lucky.
I mean, those of us especially at the top end of the millennial generation, have seen this happen to us now twice, where Wall Street got fucking richer. All of us lost our jobs, and most of us couldn't do, like, I know a lot of people around my age they stayed living at home, like legitimately. Every girl I've dated up until I was 30 still lived at home with their parents. They saved the money and they got the loan with their parents and they got a nicer car. But other than that, they all stayed living at home. My generation has lived at home until they were 30 years old for the most part. The majority of them, I should say. They went out, bought a nicer car, did whatnot. They had their priorities all wrong here. I focused on getting out on my own, and I drove $500 crap fucking beaters for most of my 20s because of it. But my generation's also never got a break. Meanwhile, the stock market guys, the trust funders, the hedge funders, all kept getting fucking richer, no matter what it was. And they did take advantage of some of the downturns. It wasn't GameStop at first because, at the first time, we were still going to GameStop for everything because there was no Steam, there was no Epic, there was none of that. But they've seen this happen twice, and they finally figured out with Reddit how they can get back at it. Yes, this is absolutely a millennial-led thing because they are pissed. They
Well,
are 100% pissed.
okay, but let me ask you. John. I'll throw this at you. I mean, you agree with that assessment that millennials are pissed about Wall Street?
In general, yeah, I'll say that's true.
Now, a it is a game, and it's there are people that learn the game and go and play the game, right? And just
Mm-hmm.
and buy into it. And I don't know that it was necessary. I don't know how big Wall Street was with millennials. Because it does seem like you are a generation that turned your back on, cried out the loudest against Wall Street so far,
That's
right?
because we never got to participate in it.
But
Yeah.
nobody. Well, yeah, yes and no. I mean,
Okay.
you
Well,
had a
okay.
way, you
Hold
had a
on.
way, you had a way to buy in, which is, like boomers were buying stocks. They were just investing in stocks and building portfolios because it's not, knowing that it wasn't an instant gratification situation. I don't think millennials took into account that, or are you not taking into account that the stock market is a long term? That's like building for your retirement kind of thing, is what it was supposed
I
to be.
I understand that, but see, the problem is most of us were, especially during the '09 crash. I think we're going to weather this next crash that's coming up. To be completely honest, I know a lot of the progressives and the red rose types have their fucking hands out like this to the government and say, please, 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 daddy government, give me more, give me more. But with the technology and the technology we have in place, I think a lot of us are going to weather this a lot better than in 2009. And once again, I will cite those of us on the top half of the millennial generation as when '09 came around, if we were lucky enough to have jobs, we were barely either keeping the roof over our heads if we didn't live at home with mommy and daddy, or keeping the car payment paid, or whatever the hell else it was, because there was nothing there. Because the elder people from Gen X and the tail end of the baby boom had the experience and they had the in with everybody else. They were the ones that had the jobs and they were snapping up what jobs were left at the time.
Sure.
Yes, we could go out and get a Robinhood and start buying into stocks.
Well,
Yes, we could physically do it, but
no, it took you guys long enough to build the platforms to do it. And see, that's
Mhm.
the thing that I think, it comes to my, it really sets in my mind is that, millennials took it upon themselves to build the platforms and create the access by which to now play the game, as we can see is successfully being done, via this Reddit GameStop situation that's going on. Because it is access through these simple trading apps and
Mhm.
this ease of access to the stock market that goes on these days that allows for that to happen. Now, if it was if the stock market was still what it used to be, which was just a place to invest and build your, some sort of nest egg slash wealth retirement fund,
Mhm.
right? But the Fed, everybody let the system get played and gamed. I
Well, and
mean,
that's going along with what most people use it for. But we've got these billionaire assholes in hedge funds, and I know Shapiro is one of them. I mean, if you listen to Shapiro's show yesterday, Shapiro was pissed that this happened, which tells me that he was in the hedge fund that got fucking hit,
right.
which makes me
Probably.
laugh my fucking balls off, by the way. Hopefully he drops Daily Wire stock into this so it makes it easier for us to come back and buy that shit.
Well,
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Helton, makes a good point, to jump over to the chat a little bit. He talks about interest rates and putting stuff into stuff like CDs and stuff, but I mean, you know, I don't know how much, investment is going on. Is more the, concern about younger generations right now, because there's not as much money to invest, right?
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
Vegas says it's a stupid fucking game, Robert. I get that. If a bunch of if a bunch of retards can just say we like the stock and cripple it, I'm sorry, bud, but that's stupid and gay.
It's
But they're,
true.
the interesting thing is they're not crippling the stock so much as they are crippling those who were
Who tried to game it?
capitalizing on the game,
Yeah.
right? And that,
Yeah.
I think, is what is the best about it is like, oh, look, somebody finally figured out how to win Monopoly quickly, right? It's a speed game of Monopoly they're playing, and it's short-term gains and short-term profits. But if it
Yeah.
See,
works, it works.
that's the thing, though. They're not doing this short term. They're sitting back here now saying, we're going to hold this. Fuck you. We're not going to let this price drop. After everybody tried to panic them into selling it. That's where Robinhood comes into this.
But the problem, but the thing about the stock market that you have to bear in mind is, it's fine if they get the stock up to a certain price. That's great. But you've got to keep buying for that stock to stay that price, because the market is going to correct itself as GameStop loses value when it's not marking returns in the coming quarters. So that stock is going to start to plummet anyway, unless you keep buying it and drive the price up. That's the only way. And they're not going to continue to invest in GameStop long term to hold that price up there, because the profits are not going to show for GameStop to justify the high price of the stock.
Yeah, but their money is already in it. And I'm willing to bet that GameStop is already looking with the amount of money that GameStop as of yesterday was valued more than fucking Tesla.
Sure.
You don't think that they've got developers out there trying to figure out how they can capitalize on the digital game market and actually get a return for the people that did turn around and do this for them?
But holding on to that stock till the next quarterly report comes in for GameStop is not a bright idea.
Why?
Because GameStop's value is not based off the stock. It's based off its profitability, which fuels the stock. The only other thing that's going to fuel
the mindset that these hedge fund people are trying to drill into your head to try and convince these idiots to go and sell off their stock.
Why is the stock value up right now? Because people are buying it, and that's driving it up. And that's why people who are working on the short game are losing so much money, because the stock won't go down, because people continue to buy it, inching it up and up and up and up. It's not the value of the company's profitability is not fueling the market. That's why it's a bubble, and it will collapse. Holding on to that stock is a fool's errand. You're not going to, GameStop can't support itself on the value of its stock alone. It's going to have to show profit, and it's going to have to show the game.
If they are valued as much as they are, you don't think that they've got some R&D out there that's trying to figure out what they can do with this money? They have got money. They're tripping over money or cash right now, liquidable cash.
Sure. But
they can turn around and invest back into their company.
There's only one.
And it would be dumb if they wouldn't do it.
There's only one direction that GameStop can go. If they can capitalize on this money and either buy or create their own game system, console, that's the best move they could make, and it's what would save them as a company. Create their own game console, become a digital company, get out of the brick and mortar. That's what they'd have to do. That's the pivot they have to make. They can't just be a reseller of everybody else's digital content and consoles. They can't survive that way.
I know we're going to talk a bit more about this on Monday on my show, but the other thing that I thought too, and I don't know, maybe I need to be the one that's in charge of R&D over at GameStop, is can they capitalize on this to do a Netflix style rental service for video games?
No.
I bet you they could, especially with the amount of money they have. They can buy licensing into some of the consoles too.
It's too late for them, John. I'll you take that question. Or what do you think? Do you think that they have a pivot into a streaming game network?
I don't know about that. They're obviously more familiar with the industry than I am. I mean, if they throw enough money at the problem, it could go away. They can figure it out. They just throw enough money at it, and now they've got.
Oh, now you sound like the government.
Well, I mean, that's what they do, is it not? They just say, "Hey, you're smart. Here's a bunch of money. Figure that out."
Okay, but see,
I don't have that money, and don't have the skills to be asked to do that, so I really don't know. It could be something completely revolutionary that we've never seen before, or they could just fade away into non-existence.
Well, that is one of the things too, is we keep looking at this as if this is the existing technology that we have to work for them. But I mean, there could be some new technology or some new development out there that we couldn't even wrap our heads around right now that could just suddenly pop up. It's the same thing with Nokia right now. AMC is another big one off of this here that have vast untapped markets that they can capitalize off of that. I mean, we don't know where they're going to go with this. I mean, Nokia could start coming out with a smartphone here in the near future, and possibly if they do the same thing with Nokia that they did with GameStop, I mean, could you see another competitor in the operating system market?
Yeah.
And once again, I'm going to cite the old guard millennials, the top end millennials. We love fucking Nokia. We could take that Nokia phone and throw it against the wall and pick it up and make a phone call with it after it's been off the charger for 9 fucking days.
That's true.
I will say this. I understand, speaking to everybody in the chat, I understand what you're talking about with the hedge funds and the people that are still are having to buy the stock at a higher price right now if they want to get their hands on it. However, if those people took a hands-off approach to the stock and just let this group of individual investors that are trying to drive the price up, let them keep buying it themselves and take a hands-off approach. Don't invest in GameStop right now. Let them drive the price up, and then let them decide what they're going to do, because you can't, once they're in a position to have to hold the stock and hold the line because nobody's buying it anymore but them, then it gets to settle out. Yeah, I agree. It's going to keep going up as long as people are buying it, trying to capitalize off of whatever the fuck is going on. But it's a gameplay that if you don't buy into it, it won't pan out. And otherwise it's going to hurt GameStop in the long run, I think. But I mean, if I were an investor on Wall Street, I would step the fuck back away from GameStop and not buy into the game that's going on right now and lose my ass. I just wouldn't do it because it's not going to be worthwhile. So anybody trying to play the market right now with GameStop, it's a fool's errand. I think it's a fool's errand. It's going to turn out bad for somebody.
And it's turning out bad for the hedge funders are trying to jam into our heads too. And honestly, I don't buy it.
Yeah. I mean,
because they're trying to get this to short. The hedge funders right now are looking at this and trying to convince people to panic and do exactly what you're saying, to go sell this all back off right now, because then they can go back and short sell this and make a fucking fortune off it again.
Right. And that's the thing, it's like, but to be honest with you, I'm like, if I considered buying playing the short game on this and buying some and letting it ride for a couple of days and then sell it off, maybe double my money, but I was like, I don't know. I don't know that I want to get into it, because it's on a rise and fall. I mean, hell, it dropped 40% before this morning before it shot back up.
Well, that's because they were in a situation where nobody could buy it anymore.
Well, there's that.
Because Robinhood locked everybody out of it. So you if you wanted to buy it as of this this morning rather, if you wanted to buy it throughout most of yesterday, you actually had to go to an actual investor. You couldn't just do it through your day trading app, which is how these people are doing it. These people aren't going to an investor. They think the investors are in on this shit.
No. I do, like, if it was me, I do it through an app that I can throw $5 into the app and jump into the market, right? Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's easy to throw a little bit in and capitalize on it. But if you're looking to capitalize big and you start risking high dollar amounts, I think you're foolish to play into the game right now that GameStop is going through. I think that's a crazy move. I be bullish. Step the fuck back, But that's me.
And there's a billionaire on Wall Street that is begging people my age to think the same way you are right now.
Would you buy into it, John?
Right now?
Right. Like it's on a meteoric rise. In the last 2 days, it's
That's what I'm saying. The price is kind of high now, isn't it?
It's still
it's up
going
to
up
like
though because people are still buying it.
right. It's still
Right.
on a rise, and
Right.
and
Right.
and I have a feeling that it's not impossible to imagine that this is going to continue for the next 2 or 3 market days. That it might be on a rise. You're going to see some dips and falls, but there
Yeah.
are some short-term gains to be made on this if played properly. You know,
Yeah.
but
It's kind of a lot of money that that I don't really want to play with on that.
right.
So I mean, I don't know. I'm just cautious, like in nature. So
This is one of those times where it's a lot like going to Vegas, right?
yeah.
See, like on when I play the market, play around in the market, I do kind of a short-term thing, 6-month goal, right? Kind of thing. So I invested in Zoom and I threw $20 into Zoom,
Mhm.
7 or 8 months ago, and I turned around and it turned into $80. And I was like, okay, cool. You know, that's
Yeah.
you know that's risky market play for me, right? I'm
Right.
like,
Yeah. That's about as far as I
there
would
goes
really
my
want
20
to. Yeah.
bucks. I'm
Yeah.
throwing it down on red or black.
Right. Yeah.
But
I just don't have the balls to be like, oh, here's my fucking life savings. Like, let's, you know,
Well, we're not saying throw
on
your
straight
life
up.
savings into it either. You
No,
should
I
never
know,
do
but
something like that. But it's kind of like when I suggested with Dogecoin. Throw 20 bucks
yeah,
at it right now.
yeah,
See
well,
what
that's more
happens.
likely to happen.
well, that's
I
what
think for me.
I mean, and there is it's one of those things again. It's just like, damn, you talk about
Yeah.
just play money, right? Just it's like fantasy football, but with money, right? Because like the cryptocurrency thing, there's thousands of them out there, and it's just like what you I mean. I never took Dogecoin seriously enough to
Nobody
buy
took
Yeah.
into it,
Dogecoin seriously. The people that made Dogecoin didn't take it seriously.
Right.
but
That was
I
the whole point of it.
but I will say this: I know that at one point I was playing around with. Do you remember the? I don't know, John. How much did you play around in the cryptocurrency bullshit when it
Not
was
at
going on?
all. I haven't done any of that.
Ed, you played around a little bit with cryptocurrency sites.
I've never bought cryptocurrency. Oh, excuse me. Commie goof. Sorry about that. I've never bought into it, but I'm going to set up a wallet to take donations through
Right. Um,
because that's the best purpose for it, is people throwing donations at it. I know Yellen's talking about making Bitcoin illegal.
I will say this: when Bitcoin itself, the first Bitcoin was out, I bought $13 worth, and I have no idea whatever happened to it, what it was on, where I
Oh
bought that at,
no.
and then 10, 12 years later, Bitcoin blows up, and I did the math, and you don't want to know the number I was looking at,
You know
with,
how common that story is, though?
but
Like, that happens, oh my god, there's so many people, just horror stories of like, I don't know my password, I can't get
right,
into
right.
it.
But in this latest craze of Bitcoin, one of the things I did was I did a lot of the faucet sites. I don't know if you're familiar with these, but they're like Bitcoin faucets. So when people are out there with these big mining rigs, right, and they're just generating Bitcoin. Um,
Mhm.
there's runoff as it were, but you can tap into it with faucets, and and sit and just get a trickle off of the stream of all these miners
Mhm.
going through and creating Bitcoin, and get it in different coins, right? And so I do know for a fact that out there floating in the crypto realm, I have Dogecoin. I have Dogecoin.
Oh
And I'm like,
no.
how much I have? I don't know, because I got to go dig
Right.
up passwords and I got to log back into stuff. I went on one side. I was today, and it's like, we need, two-step verification now. And it's like, okay, you're going to have to confirm your identity. We need a picture and an
Drop of
ID,
blood.
right?
Right.
So I'm like, damn, because I'm like, there's something there. I need to go look. I need to see what's there. This is important. But one thing that is, the flip side to that is you go back, to these sites, and a lot of them aren't even in existence anymore.
Yeah.
It's all moved on to something new or fell apart. But now I was something Helton said earlier that jumped out at me, and we'll try and catch up with the chat a little bit. He
Yeah.
says, I think they know it is going to be bad, talking about GameStop. They're just destroying the hedge funds for revenge. Yeah, I mean, but
Yeah.
Wall Street didn't destroy and make your generation horrible. You guys did it
No, it didn't.
yourselves. You guys got to take responsibility for your own woes and foibles. Because there's a lot of your generation on Wall Street right now
There.
controlling all this shit.
One of the things to keep in mind, though, and this is I watched all of everything fall apart on me. I had just got out of mechanic school when the bottom fell out.
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks before, legitimately, when the bottom
Right.
fell out. So I was fucked because what's every guy's backup career? My market was my job market was so fucking flooded that you were begging up to get a minimum wage job in it when I came out of it. But I look back and I started to study, once everything started to rebound, I actually looked back and I started to study and see where the Great Recession came from, how it did. And in all honesty, that should have happened 7 years before it did, I'm going to say. Just looking back at the indicators that it happened. But combat pay started coming into play because we went to war right after September 11th. So, go buy your new car and a whole bunch of jewelry in another house that you can't afford because otherwise the terrorists win. That kind of bullshit went up there and held it up there long enough to, landed on Barack Hussein O.
Henry says going long now is helping the same hedge funds, which I have to agree with that. Yes, Elephant Man, I am old school. That's great. I am. I don't know if I'm up to the tricks and games that everybody's playing now. So, with money, social media is the key to it. Is like being interactive on that, and because that's what's behind all of this. Is the what social media can accomplish. Henry's Michael Vegas tells Henry not if they run out of money first and don't get bailed out, right? There's going to be they've got to get bailed out. Gosh, guys. And then people have got to pay the price for that. There will be investigations. John, the FBI, they should be able to find everybody involved in this. Just go through Reddit. Right?
Yeah, I suppose it would. Yeah.
That was one of the things that blew my mind on this too. The fact that it happened on Reddit of all places.
Yeah.
Right. This I expected it would have come from 4chan.
Yeah, I said the same thing on Twitter this morning.
Henry, I'm not sure they're retarded in the right way for that, but maybe. I mean,
well, it's they
might be to pull it
It's
off.
just that they're known for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They found Shia LaBeouf with cloud patterns.
It is. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a different kind of retarded. Different form of artist.
Henry says the way to fuck over Wall Street changed when Robinhood allowed trading again. Go short game. See, exactly. Mike Vick says fake and gay. Ron Hill says, yeah, they probably place new shorts to take advantage of the false gains. The question is, when will it drop and by how much to cash in big? Yeah. And that's the key is like, now that'll become the game sometime next. I think it'll be sometime next week. You'll really start that game, see that game come into play is how much can you short Wall Street, the GameStop for, can you watch it drop significantly to, I don't know, 75%.
Everybody's trying to force it to drop, and I don't think it's going to happen.
I'm just saying.
They're trying to force it.
I mean, it's just
because they change the rules as they fucking go because they're billionaires and they can get away with it, and they've got the government backing for them.
Well, I'm just saying, how long can you convince people? How long can you convince people to invest in GameStop? Whether it be from the Wall Street perspective or the external perspective.
I'm going to do it.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it's a little late in the game. I think John was right to a certain extent. I don't know how much more you're going to see a rise in the value. I mean, it's peaking up somewhere. Last I checked, somewhere around 400 or a little over 400, somewhere close to that.
Yeah, it's pricing out all the
maybe 500. Maybe it'll see 500. Who knows?
Maybe.
but it closed today at just under 400, I thought.
Mhm.
But it's like, do you think it? So that's funny. I just saw this. Elephant Man says $1,000. Is it $1,000, John? Is
No,
somebody?
that's
No, I
where they're
think
going to get it to.
that's
Oh,
when they're
that's
going to
what they're.
sell.
That's
Yeah,
what they want to get it to.
right.
So the question is, does the stock double before that happens? You know,
I don't
Do you have
know.
any idea how fucked the hedge funds will be if it does?
it would be funny,
Yeah.
but it's prime for it to happen, I would think. I'd have to look at the requirements again for what constitutes doubling. Splitting the
The
shares, I should say, splitting.
the
Um,
best part of this is these hedge funds. They've got the volatile stuff that they short, that they manipulate and short. But then they've got a series of very safe investments in there as well. They've got your Apple, your Google, um, stuff like that. I'm sure they've got stuff in Tesla for that too. They've got all that kind of stuff in there that they know is going to go up. Well, if they get any further into the hole off of what they tried to cheat the system with, because they borrowed 140% of the available stock to try and sell off and short sell. So they were legitimately manipulating the numbers when they did this. If
nice.
they get further into the hole, they start selling off these big safe names, and then the prices on the big safe names start to drop, which fucks a lot more people.
It's it's a nasty situation. This is why
It's hilarious.
this is
Fuck
why
them.
it's why it's smart to stay out of the fucking market on the when you're talking about the big dollars. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll risk $100 here and there, but at
Dude,
best.
seriously, fuck
Yeah.
them.
But yeah, so and the our chat's an excellent show of what it's like. I mean, some Henry's some people are calling for a short game, some people are saying no, double down and hold.
Yeah.
Play the long game. But they are saying that the agreement on Reddit, Elephant Man says, was to sell on $1,000, whatever app you use. But I mean, Jesus, whoo, sell at 1,000, whoo, boy howdy.
But the
Um,
worst part of this, and this
that's
is
that's a
one of the
jump.
things that I'm seeing with this is this doesn't seem so. I mean, this started out to see like they said, okay, we want to screw over these people who are trying to short the stock. It sounds more like after they started to see because I mean, except for yesterday, every day since Joe Biden was inaugurated, the Dow has dropped. I know, I watch it every morning. Every single day since Joe Biden took office, except for yesterday, the Dow has closed down. It just dropped another 600 points today. This, and the fact of the matter is, they're looking at this since, okay, you caught onto our GameStop game. We're going to take the next one you're going to short sell. We will find the one you're going to short sell. We will chase you around the internet forever because you kept us locked in our homes for a year.
Right.
We will take care of anything else you try to short sell here. They're not out to make gain. They're not out to do anything else. They're out to fuck the government. Joe Biden, the establishment, and Wall Street. Because that's Joe Biden came out and he said, I want unity, man. We need to put our differences aside. Well, he got unity. He got a universal hatred of Joseph Robinette Biden Jr.
Yeah, it's
The
true.
Red Roses are in on this. The Libertarians are in on this. The MAGA people are in on this.
Yeah, even most Democrats.
Yeah, even some of the boring fucking neoliberals who just want us to go back to war because Donald Trump bragged that he didn't get into any wars.
How dare
And
he?
they
Fucking
actually wanted
fascist.
Biden. They're in on this shit too.
Yeah,
That's what we're unified on. And it's
right.
fucking hilarious.
It is really great.
Well, I mean, it's I don't know if you know how do you stop playing? I don't know. That was the way to build Social Security. We realized, my generation realized that Social Security wasn't going to pay off. So, we were one of the last generations who responded to that by investing money in the stock market. Like I was talking about those long-term investments. Now, I'm not saying we all did it, but we were the last generation really doing it. And probably only half the generation, the first half of the generation, more than anything. Um, what what else are you? What else have you got to build money for retirement? Like that's the thing, right? You've got your 40 that leaves 401k, but that's based off the stock market. I mean, how do you not play into that game and risk it all on a regular basis? You know?
It was being risked around us. The problem with it is that other people were risking it for us, risking it around us, and we were taking whatever meager fucking scraps were coming back off of this here,
Yeah.
while other people were getting rich. It's the K-shaped recovery that Joe Biden mumbled his way through.
Well,
That was great, Casey.
yeah, I mean, you know, and there's you know, there are ways. It's the money market. That's the problem. Is the market, right? But it's all we're at a point in time in our society here in America where you must build wealth, right? If you're going to make it, you've got to build wealth. Like people who haven't been are my age that haven't been saving money for the last 30 years are very much in a screwed position looking at the next 30 years, right?
Here's
Uh,
what you need to understand about what's going on right now. And this is important to understand. And I go back to the original point that I started off this whole rant with, is the fact that there is no wealth for millennials because of the way that if we would have been able to agree that the coronavirus lockdown was organic, which it was not, it was specified and targeted in order to make sure the economy tanked so nobody would vote for Donald Trump again. If this second crash was organic, then okay, maybe we wouldn't say that, okay, well, we'll figure this out. Because the first crash, as much as people want to blame it on Barack Hussein O, or other people want to blame it on W and all his warmongering fucking idiocy, the first crash was organic. I have looked through enough documents, enough banking records, and enough social records to look at the first crash and say that was organic. That was an organic one. This is not an organic crash. But once again, for the second time in 15 years, millennials are going to see the housing market crash. There's not going to be a wealth for them. And it came, I mean, this was engineered in order to do this. They engineer the crash. And we look at what was happening immediately before this. Now, Joe Biden went through and rescinded an order that came at the end of the Trump presidency that was going to drive EpiPens and insulin down into the gutter, making it even harder for people, especially, 36, 37, 38, the top end of the millennial generation who might start getting some of the health problems that are coming in here.
right.
Now this is going to come back and fuck us in the ass. And there's Joe Biden with this creepy, cheesy fucking grin saying, dance for me, puppets, beg me for fucking single payer.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, I have an opinion on that, but I'm going to answer a question. Elephant Man says, Robert, why do you need wealth? And the reason I say that is because just to survive in later years, and I'm talking about the euphemistic we, as in like our society, in the years where you're in your declining years where you're not able to work as much, or no telling what could happen, medical situation, just personal whatever, you need to have a nest egg. You need to have money built and saved for that time, because we knew Social Security wasn't going to come, right? I'm not expecting Social Security to be there, right? Whenever it's my time to take advantage of it. But as far as your generation is concerned, the millennials, I think that you guys, and John, I think you've agreed with me in this before. In a way, your generation is kind of like the first solidly uh, instant gratification generation, right?
I think
And
it's
it's kind of tied to that entitlement that started to build, that really, got deeper in Gen Z. But yeah, go ahead, John.
well, no, I was gonna say, I think that started with your generation, But
Sure.
it was in our generation that we were able to get instant gratification.
To the
You know what I
extent
mean?
that
Like it
it
was the
kind
first
of be
time that it is actually instant, is what I mean.
right, and to the extent that it kind of becomes an expectation, right?
Right, yeah.
So when you look at something like the stock market, it's not appealing from a long-term standpoint. So you have to find ways to, if you're going to play around with it, you have to find ways to make money off of it very fast, right?
Right.
I mean, so I could understand how it would seem like a big demon if it was something that you had to be there was a barrier to entry for your generation. We were still not at the point till now of instantly. I just threw $5, by the way, into GameStop. I just bought $5 in stock in GameStop, and I'm going to see what happens to it over the next week and try and update as we go through with our shows and see what happens to my $5. I think
Yeah.
it'll be just an interesting little experiment. If it turns
Fun.
into 100, I will be excited.
That would be pretty sweet.
So if we want to, if you want to call a sell price for the stock, we can, if the audience wants to agree at one, it's 8,000. It's on an 8,000% rise right now. It's up
I think getting it up
8,000%.
to $100 would be a good sell price.
Well, okay, or sell it when the stock reaches a certain point. So
Yeah, when it
I'd have to do the
reaches.
math to see what it would be at to turn my $5 into 100,
Right.
but it'll be pretty easy to see. I mean, I can just instantly see how much it's turned into. Um, uh, so, instant gratification, says the former hippie. I wasn't a hippie.
Yeah,
I was.
he's not actually that old. He's not old enough to be a
No,
hippie.
no, 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 no. I was a kid during the hippie stuff. Yeah,
Right.
that was my formative year. I was doing other things that I don't like to think about during that time. Um,
Right.
but I was at 80s. I rode the 80s train, man. I was
Yeah.
just trying to live out the 80s songs. You know, I was Ice Ice, baby. That's all it was, right?
Oh, I thought maybe you ran so far away.
Mm. Oh, I did, from the establishment, from everything. Yeah, I mean, so maybe that was the hippie aspect. I was like, fuck the man. I didn't care shit about
Yeah.
anything. Um,
And man.
I didn't buy into all the old people investing and stuff, and I was like, come on, that's crazy. Now I look back and I'm like, damn, I was crazy. I was so fucking stupid. Man, if I had put money into Apple Computer that I had, the the first money I spent on getting a computer from them way the fuck back in the day, if I had just taken that money and bought stock in Apple, I would
Hmm.
not be sitting here talking to you right now.
A friend of mine, his dad did that. Bought Apple stock when it was real low, like when they were first coming out, and he
He lives
still
very
has.
comfortably, I'm imagining.
Yeah, yeah. Not even because of that. Like he still works and stuff, but
Mhm.
yeah, he pulls out Apple stock when they want to go on vacation or something. Just spends that money. Like he'll just pull it out from their stock and be like, "All right, here's a couple grand. Let's go
Right?
on vacation."
Every time I watch
He's
Forrest, I think about it every time I watch Forrest Gump. And then one day
yeah,
they sent a letter and said we don't have to work no more.
yeah. Hell yeah.
They say we don't have to work no more. Henry says, roll your 401k and IRAs into precious metals. Do it. Fuck bonds and stocks. I don't want you guys to get wrecked. Now, okay, so now here's my question though. Okay, now maybe because this I never really understood from the perspective of the financial world. All right. Okay, I understand how the gold standard works, right? I got that. We
Well, it
got a
doesn't
whole bunch.
anymore.
I mean, it was very well, right? How it worked when it was happening. We have a bunch of money, gold sitting in Fort Knox, and that's how much money we have in the world, our country, right? I get it, and how much we have
Mhm.
traded, and blah blah blah. But people are saying invest. They're always invest in gold, buy silver, buy precious metals. Okay, so great. I go and I spend $10,000 on a bunch of gold jewelry, right? Get 24 karat gold jewelry or whatever the best. Is it 14 carats that's the best or is it 24? 24.
24 is the pure.
Okay. Now I sit and I have a big box of jewelry. And I'm just, how is that any different than buying some stocks? Because I'm just going to sit around and wait until that's valuable and then go sell it as I need it to live off of, right?
Well, I think it's that there's more of a guaranteed, uh, not that it's going to be guaranteed at a certain price. It's certainly not, but it's going to be guaranteed to be kind of pricier. Like it's never going to lose its
Okay.
value like a stock would.
Okay. But somebody still has to have the currency to back that up, right? So I've got to expect that other people will have the currency to buy that. Otherwise, I'm just sitting on a bunch of gold and silver that nobody can
Right.
afford to buy.
Well, and one
Because
thing to keep in
and then
mind,
I
though,
have
with
and then I'm cash poor because
Well, you
all I
start
have.
nickel and diming it,
yeah,
getting everyone's little bit of money, you
yeah.
know.
So is the idea to become an individual bank, or is the idea to just have wealth
Just have
sitting
something to barter with, yeah.
and then I have the
Interesting.
problem with physical wealth on hand, right? I don't. That's what I've always hated about cash, right? People who would hoard cash, and I get
Oh,
it,
well, that's stupid. Yeah, yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
right? But why is
Yeah,
it stupid to hoard? Is it any different to hoard a precious
because
metal versus
cash
cash?
is just paper.
Well,
Its value is basically non-existent, other than the fact that
okay,
we tell each other that it exists.
so if I
Hmm.
steal
That
your
has
gold,
value.
then that's a far better steal, right? I should steal your gold. So what?
Yeah,
You
probably.
should steal
So
my vote. That's what
it's
you should
it's still
steal.
it's still a physical asset
Yeah,
that I can take from you.
sure. Yeah, yeah.
So that's what it becomes. It's like this ability to, now I get it, the digital world is hackable and money can be fucked with and manipulated. I get it. There's no perfect system ever going to be created that keeps money safe or keeps whatever it is that's valuable safe. But I don't know. I I don't. I think it's a foolish. Even gold and precious metals are a foolish standard to be basing things on. I don't know. We just need to go back to barter. I'm
Well, that's what the
sorry.
gold is supposed to do for you, something that you barter with. But I do agree, though. Yeah, the middleman with currency is kind of it.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. It'd just be simpler with bartering. You don't want to cut the cow in half, of course, but at the same time, it's like looking currency hasn't been doing us any good unless we switch to metal coins again. Some copper, silver,
Yeah. I mean,
gold,
it's
whatever else, platinum,
One of
whatever
the things
coin.
to keep in mind, though, when you're going along with like silver, not so much. I mean, silver is it's a great metal if you're doing like metalworking, but gold itself also does have industrial purposes that
Right.
still carry over into the digital world. Like your circuit boards are printed with gold. I mean,
Yeah.
gold is never going to be worthless. That's one thing that you have to keep in mind.
well, I understand that, but it's not like there's a never-ending supply of gold. It's and it's not like it can't damn near be counterfeited at this point,
We're getting close to that point.
right? And so I'm like, okay, so don't we need to go to a precious metal currency for it to be a realistic, like get rid of the paper currency and just make our currency out of gold, go back to gold and silver currency
That's what
like
I'm
we did
saying.
once upon a time.
And copper
And
is another good one because that also has industrial uses, and it's a precious metal that make coins out of.
but I mean,
So
doesn't
it's multiple.
but I mean, you can't make that transition because right? I mean, there's no way for the government to do that, right?
Oh,
Is the government
that transition would be almost
wait?
impossible right now.
What happened to all the
Right
gold
this
that?
second, yeah.
What happened to all the countries' gold that we were Is it still sitting in Fort Knox? What are they doing with
I
that?
don't fucking
Selling
know,
it off
dude.
for
I don't
circuit
know.
boards? What
No,
happened to
Nicolas
all
I don't
Cage
know
stole
what
it
they
and hid it somewhere using a map that's on the back of the Constitution.
Wait, no.
True.
I know what happened in that reality. I'm talking about the present reality. What happened to all the gold that we used to base our currency off of? Do we know, does nobody know what happened to all the gold? All those bricks of gold we had sitting around at one point. That existed. Is that still there?
I think you
I don't
were
know.
actually going down the right path with that. A lot of it's gone to jewelry, industrial uses, various other different ways to use.
So the government's been selling it off?
Probably,
What the fuck have they
or the
been doing
mining
with the
companies.
money? Are they accounting for it? Or do we get to see what they've been doing with that? What happened? Does anybody know? Does anybody know what happened to the
Oh my
gold?
god.
What happened to Fort Knox? Where did the gold go?
Hi, have you
Asking a
met
lot
our
of
federal
questions.
government?
Yeah, you're asking a lot of questions right now, Robert. It's making me very uncomfortable.
I'm waiting for your FBI agent to come in on this.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for
Just
your
pop-
FBI agent to come through my door.
just pops up on the Zoom call like, "Hey guys, y'all behaving in here?" Like,
I think you're asking too many questions, guys.
yeah.
Helton says there is a rumor that there is no gold in Fort Knox. The bankers took it.
By the way, Robert,
Elephant Man says Nancy Pelosi has it. That's why she wanted her lectern back so badly.
Robert, real quick, I want to address something that's happening like later on in the chat. Henry here wants to meet you in the Discord server to chat because he wants to talk about. I guess he wants to explain how gold and silver and stuff are worth.
Well,
Is he in there?
Valuable, at least.
I don't know what his Discord name is. I invited him. I don't know. If
He's
there
Chicken
or not.
Nugs. in
Oh.
Discord.
I didn't know that was who that was.
Yeah.
Never mind. I guess you're there.
Yep.
I understand. I do get the basics of gold and silver, the industrial use. I understand that, and that it's precious. And the thing about it, that's the problem with it, though, is it's finite. There's a finite amount of it. So, I mean, you have to have an economy that stays within that realm. Right.
That was the point
I
of
mean,
it.
the cost of goods would have to come down so significantly because of the difference in the system we have now. That's just based off of, I don't know, magic. Is it magic? Is that what we're going with?
Pretty much what our
the
current money is. Yeah.
That's
the
what
current
we're.
monetary.
Go ahead.
The current monetary system that we have is supposed to be based on each dollar representing a share of the GDP, not the gold. So as long as we're raising the GDP and the currency at the same time, they're supposed to be interlinked. The problem is, you guessed it, we have people like Rashida Tlaib sitting in Congress that says, oh, well, we should just mint $2 trillion coins and use those to pump up the currency so we can send out a debit card that gets reloaded automatically by the government every month until the pandemic is over.
Right.
And we're going to impeach the motherfucker again.
Right. And there's, and that's fine. I mean, that's the path we've been on, for years. Just keep going, cred sticks and be done with it. No, but, it's, ultimately it just, it's impossible for me to imagine that capitalism could go back to fitting within the realms of a gold standard monetary system again.
You have any idea how bad the inflation would have to be in order to get us back on the gold standard?
Yeah, it had to be ridiculous, I imagine.
It's not yet. I mean, it's not
It's not as bad as we've seen with other countries. So
I know, I get it. As long as we stay
Relatively,
ahead
it's
of other
not.
countries, we can rest on our laurels and say our
Right.
economy is the best. I get it, right?
Right, but if you're the best on the top of a heaping pile of shit, you know what I mean? What does that really mean? That doesn't really mean much, right?
But the problem is that it seems as if David Copperfield is running the economy, right? It's just
And
how
now
many
you've crossed the line into true libertarianism.
how
That's
much
right.
smoke and mirrors can we put
That's
up and
That's
get you
right.
all
It's
to
all an
understand,
illusion.
right? So
It's an illusion.
So if it's going to be an illusion, then it might as well be an illusion that we can all benefit from. You know, give everybody money and let the cost of goods continue to go up. You know, and then you just keep giving people more money,
And now you've crossed
and then at some point they'll realize that none
yeah,
of it means anything, and that we're
you've crossed
just
over
living
into
in a
accelerationism.
right.
No,
And then they'll accept us into the United Federations of Planets. I'm just saying.
we had to create
Warp drive?
warp drives. Yeah, we
Elon
had to do
Musk
that
is
first.
working. He's
All
working, John.
right.
He's going to do
Yeah,
it.
fair enough.
Hey, if you take a look at some of the stuff, apparently our government's been working on some stuff too. So you know,
Yeah, that's probably something that doesn't need to come together.
some of these classified documents that have been coming out lately. Apparently, there was some trans tra- like time warp bullshit that they were working on.
Oh well, I'm sure they were. Yeah.
Well,
Well, that's
just
just because
not
Joe
too
Biden
long
wants to go
ago.
back and see Corn Pop again.
It was coming off more.
Slap him.
It was coming across like portal technology, almost like a portal type use. But they were trying to
Right.
find out how to weaponize. You know, their main focus was weaponizing it. So
Of course.
fuck them. You know,
No, I mean, so I'm sure there's like tons of shit like that that were just kind of, fuck it, let's try this. And like they throw a couple, $100 million at it, and they're like, well, we can't really make the math work. We don't have anything. All right, and then that's it. It's probably not anything like that people expected to work, or we're real close to doing it. It's probably most likely what it was. It's kind of like, here's an idea.
Wait, we're almost there. We're almost there. Just a little bit more. Go.
Elfman
Sorry, I got
says.
excited.
Elfman says, I made a meme for that. Robert,
yeah.
say it with me. Money is fake and gay. Michael Vegas says. Michael, wir müssen den Wagenstern
Oh God, you don't know what you're saying.
finden.
Stop.
Wir müssen nur was? Did he say that?
Yes,
He did.
Hey,
He did say that. He the past iterations of that he was putting in Minecraft after it. So I don't know exactly what it says, but I imagine it has to do with someone losing a life in a video game.
Aw, look at John trying to be a know-it-all. I like it.
No, he's trying to scrub it for the Woodjiskis of the world.
I'm just wondering where.
Because you were dumb enough to say it. I don't know what it means, but
I'm just wondering where our mods are,
I do.
because I'm not sure that we allow that kind of language in our chat, do we?
it's true. Those
Potty mouth.
commie languages. I don't want to type it in like Vega. That's why I have you here.
TLDT.
Yeah.
Because I don't think
it did not translate.
Right. Copy paste. Work on copy paste. All right. So the ultimate realization that we've come to is buy GameStop. Ed, you say play the long game, right?
No, I say burn it all down.
Well, yeah, but that's not going to happen. So right now, there's the present situation. There's a game going on. The question is,
right here. Take a drink out of it.
The question
throw the
is,
rest of it on the ground and light a match.
The question is,
Michael Vega translated it. He said we must find new ways to tax evade in Minecraft.
Nice.
Yeah, those Minecraft taxis, man, they're insane.
Look, there's a game being played right now. You have a choice. You can either sit on the sidelines or you can get out there and get into the game. So if you were to get into the game, if you do get into the game, Ed, do you see it as a long play game or a short play game? We need, this could be an important stock tip for people, Ed.
Well, I'm not authorized to give any stock.
People trust
stock advice.
It's your opinion. No. I'm asking for your opinion. People trust you, Ed.
Honestly, like I say, if you're going to get into it and you're going to go the route and you've got the expendable money, that's the most important part. Don't spend your last fucking dime on this, but if you want to go back and stick it to the man, grab a little piece of this and just drive that price up a little bit more. But of course, that is not official stock advice, which I am not authorized to give.
What's your sell threshold?
Saying that.
When the stock reaches, what's your sell threshold? Go ahead and
Oh.
give a sell threshold prediction. When's the best time to sell?
Not going to sell.
Even at 1,000?
Nope.
Woof. John, long or short game if you were to invest in GameStop?
I would say short game.
Mm.
I only because I don't have the balls just to let it sit there and just watch it not crash, but then expect it to every moment of every day. I don't know. I couldn't do it.
Reddit calls for a $1,000 threshold for sale. Do you think it should be lower?
I don't know. I think that's a good one.
People trust your opinion, John. You got to be sure about this.
Well, no, I mean, I get like Ed. I'm not fucking qualified to do this. I'm not giving anyone financial advice. Like,
We're
just saying, if
speaking
it was
purely
me,
about opinion. I keep saying opinion.
I
It's
know.
okay. You're okay. You're absolved. You're not going to be responsible for putting anybody's grandmother in a home.
No, you still need to put your disclaimer on there. Otherwise,
Yeah.
the lawyers will have a field day.
We always
That's
have a
right.
disclaimer. We don't know shit. We're stupid.
Yeah, we're fucking idiots. Don't listen to us. But at the same time, bye. But no,
Right? Bye.
right. No,
Go
no, I think
long on pork
1,000.
bellies.
I think 1,000 is a good sell price. Just because it's so like it's so astronomical from where it started out. Like I think it was originally like $4 a share. I think it was originally like $4, and then now it's at what, just around 400,
Mm-hmm.
and that's insane. So yeah, I mean, I can see why you would have the goal of trying to get it to 1,000. It seems much more doable from this point of view rather than $4.
Yeah, well, they are. I mean, it's funny. Every time I go into Stash, they're like, "Dude, this is a volatile stock." Yeah, they're showing it at $327.50 right now.
Oh, see, it went down because the other day when I saw it, it was at 369.
Yeah,
So
I mean, it's
starting to go down.
it's going to do an up and down. When the market closes, it'll drop.
Oh, it's true, yeah.
Until the next open, and then the trading will stop. People are setting up trades now that are going to be going through on the next market open. So
that's fair. That's fair.
So you heard it here first, and unimportantly, that Ed says play the long game. John says play the short game. He agrees with Reddit on the $1,000 sell threshold. Ed says hold on to it like you would your hard penis. And
that sounds like something I would say, actually.
Yeah.
That's why I said it.
Penis.
Sounds like an Edism. Penis.
Right. I mean, when was the last time you said penis on our show?
Last time I was on your show?
Probably, yeah.
Helton thinks more in line like I do. He says he thinks it will pop and drop once it hits 500. I was going to gamble on 600 to 700. Thinking it might actually peak to that if the weekend picks up enough steam to carry it into a strong day of trading on Monday. You could see a jump in the price. Plus, it'll be interesting to see what foreign markets do with GameStop, by the end of trading there. I don't know if trading's ended for the foreign markets yet or not. But Chilaga 1984 in the house. What's up, guys? At Ed, I still need your letter that goes with your cut-up stimulus check. Need to copy it. Plagiarism. Lazy. Nice. I like that. See, Ed? You're
an innovator, Ed.
Your work is being appreciated in many places.
Be an entrepreneur and sell it to him for $5.
I didn't see it while I was on my show, but I do have to give the thanks out there that I wasn't able to do so now that Chilaga is here. But I actually do owe a little bit of thanks to Chilaga because he gave me my first PayPal today. So
nice.
Oh, nice. Badass, dude.
And then told me to get a Subscribe Star, which that's on my weekend. I actually started it. I just need to do the 2-factor verification. So,
Chilaga, we have a Subscribe Star. Also, everyone else out there, we have a Subscribe Star. You're all welcome to it. Promise.
All of you, even the people that don't like me.
It's true. Especially the people that don't like Robert.
But I will tell you this. One thing that I've learned is that your hatred is so much better projected through dollars.
It's true.
Like
the more money that we get on Subscribe Star, the more everyone hates Robert.
Look at it this way. It's a non-sexual way of hate fucking me.
Oh, it's true.
That's what you see. You can see it as a non-sexual way of hate fucking me, and I know that some of you, you know who you
You know
are.
who you are.
You've thought about it. You've
That's
thought about
great.
it. Oh, if I could just shut Robert up, I would. Bring. I know
Yeah.
how you guys think. So
We all know one person has the monopoly on hating to fuck you. That's your old lady.
yeah,
Tell you what,
yeah, that's
you
true.
guys, if we make it,
I
if we
did.
make
I
it
was
to
wondering why
two-
she was growing so many cucumbers and zucchinis.
Oh yeah.
John, go ahead. What were you saying?
I was gonna say, guys, if we make it to $200 a month on Subscribestar, Robert will quit smoking cigarettes. It's insane. So recommend you do that.
I would. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. That's.
And then we had
It's-
sex.
It's so tough. It's so tough, right? And then we had sex, right?
Yeah.
Helton says, in reference to GameStop, he said he originally thought 650 or 700, but it fell back after the end of the day. Will it have the momentum on Monday?
That is actually fake news because it hasn't topped 500 yet. 490, I think, was the biggest peak that it hit.
Well,
so
no, he
far.
was just saying he thought it was going to hit 650 or 700,
Oh.
but it fell back today
Oh, I thought it was saying it
again.
already did.
Right. No, he was just saying the slide back that it took at the end of the day blew his confidence in the 650 to 700 number, and that's why he said 500.
I'll blow your confidence.
That's
Whoa.
fine. My confidence is proud and firm, and stands straight. Well, it leans a little to the left, curves upward, but it's confidence nonetheless. And you feel free to blow it, sir. We're gonna get the hell out of here because I've got nothing else beneficial to add.
Yeah.
This just keeps devolving at this point.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
We're not gonna get any better from here.
Look what
so.
you turned it into. But
You've had me on the show how many times you didn't expect this?
I know, right?
It's either this or religion.
Right, yeah, derailment or religious derailment.
I'm not gonna lie. I thanks, Elephant Man. No, damn it. But I had
one weird trick.
I've actually been having like an urge, an itch to talk.
They make a cream for that.
To talk religion with somebody in the near recently. I mean,
Okay,
I've been
go talk
wanting
to Nate.
Yeah, there you go. Slattery. Get Slattery on.
I don't know. Is he? I don't know. Is he extreme
He'll
enough
co-
anymore? I don't know.
He'll come on. I don't know if he's. I don't know where he. I slip into his streams once in a while. If he's having a stream, I'll just jump in. I'll be like, hey, be like, oh shit, it's John. So I imagine though he's still doing his Bible study stuff. So I imagine he's pretty extreme.
Robert and Steven
Okay.
on the ultimate religious debate. I'm actually waiting for that one.
Yeah. Robert and Steven. Honestly, I don't know. I'm just saying I think I can argue, but against religion better than Robert can. Sorry, Robert.
Well, no, no, that's fine. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, the ultimate bottom line to any religious conversation comes down to this. It just comes down to you can't prove religion, yay or nay, right? I mean,
you can't disprove it either.
That's what I'm saying, right?
point,
You can't it can't be proved in the positive or the negative, and that's its beautiful defense. It's just like so it's you get to break it down into what basic human fundamental need a person has.
Right. There really is no need to argue religion or non-religion because ultimately it's pointless and people aren't going to change their beliefs, at least on one conversation.
Well, this is turning into a run. John, tell them where they can find us at.
Yeah. I didn't want to get into it either. Then, of course, had to be brought up.
Come on, you guys. You want to believe in the conversation.
Hold my Elephant Man says he can hold up his religion with the libertarian viewpoint. Yeah, no, I've seen that before. It is interesting for sure. But
Right.
anyway, so I guess we're gonna get out of here then.
Yeah, John, tell them what they can do. Where
Also,
they can
Elephant
find
Man
us.
says "fuck you, Ed." I don't know why, but apparently, Ed. It's okay. He said "fuck you." I think he said "fuck you, John" earlier. So
Did I get a fuck you
one
at
of
all
that.
tonight? If not, then
Uh,
I count
Hey, Robert,
myself.
go fuck yourself.
There you go. You
That'll
got
be
one now.
that for the third time today. This is getting, I don't know. That's a hell of a workout for the day.
All right. So anyway, yes, places you can find us in the description below. We have all of our links to all of our stuff. We've got our Twitter, which is at the GenGapP.
At
We've
the
got our
Gen Gap
Discord
P.
server where you can go and watch Henrik try and drunkenly type out economic arguments for why precious metals specifically, are going to be valuable forever. So that'll be fun. Make sure you go and do that. And also, if YouTube doesn't send out notifications, you will always get, or almost always get a notification over on Discord. So make sure you join our Discord server for that stuff. And then, like I mentioned earlier, we have a subscribe star. We've got 3 different tiers of donations where you get special shit uh, that goes along with your little subscription. So you're not just giving us money for nothing; you're getting something in return.
What about chicks for free?
We can't offer that legally. We can't offer that legally. So anyway, and we've also got Freedom Scoop, freedomscoop.com. Find all
Which
of
is
our
under
stuff
construction right now.
under reconstruction. That's right. We're Reconstruction era Freedom Scoop right now. But yeah, over there though, you find all of our stuff, and you can find lesser and unimportant creators such as Jay Edgar, who's on the screen here. Stephen Ignoramus is over there as well. We have Wyatt from the Breakdown with Birkenhoff. We got Already Conservative and the Freckles and Brit Show. So make sure you check them out. And while you're doing that, we got merch. We got shirts, we got mugs. Those are cool things. If you don't want to give monthly, like on the Subscribe Star, you want to help us out still, that's another good way of doing it. Buying a shirt.
I got to offer a correction right there because currently we have no merch.
Oh, currently we have no merch.
Because we are under construction.
If this was the time that you wanted to finally break down and buy that shirt, unfortunately you cannot do that. So
give us time,
I guess.
Pardon our dust.
Yeah,
while we improve your shopping.
Right. So can we still watch stuff over there?
Not currently. All you get is a coming soon screen off of it.
So freedomscoop.com, currently under construction and not around. So don't go there yet, but we'll let you know when you can go there again.
You can still bookmark it.
Absolutely bookmark it. Yeah. In fact, I encourage you to do so.
Coming soon.
In fact, I heard as soon as you bookmark freedomscoop.com, your dick will grow 0.3 inches.
These claims are not backed up by scientific fact, and we have no FDA authorization to say this.
Coming soon.
Yeah, exceptions and results may vary.
Coming soon.
Exceptions or restrictions may apply. Results may vary.
Coming soon.
Ha. Yes.
I just love the way that sounds sometimes. Especially when we're talking about a porn site like Freedom Scoop.
Like Freedom Scoop.
All right, let's get the hell out of here. Ed, thank you very much for coming by. And if you want, real quick, you can tell these people that may not know where to find you, where they can find you. Did you want to do that now? You don't give a shit? What?
Feel yourself.
You can head on over and pick up my shows. Mornings, weekday mornings at 7:45 Central Standard Time is Contemporary. This weekend, we will be doing Across the Board featuring the R-rated conservative, Mr. Behavior, KCK89 from over on Twitter, a noted author who agreed to join the show, and Angela Ramirez will be returning. So We will be talking about how we plan to shore up our defenses and whether through the next 4 years. Come and check that out. Otherwise, you can check me back out on Monday for Contemporary or the Red Net Show, which this week we're going to be going even more into depth as to what's happening in Wall Street and everything else that's going on with GameStop. It's going to be a great time. Hope to see you guys there. And yeah, you can go over, continue the conversation with me over on Twitter as well. That is at Ed's Blog Twitter. We're the one in place of the eye. Go and check that out.
God, it gets me hot when Ed talks about going deeper in depth. God, it gives me chills. But anyway, well, we ourselves are going to be back again on what, John? What do you say? You want to try on Monday? There's a chance we could be on Monday. We may be running late. I don't know. It depends on grandchild situation. You know, I'm an old man, got grandkids. What do you want? But anyway, we'll be back on Monday, targeting about 9:30 p.m. as usual, for our filling the gap, a little bit of humor to start your week off, or hopefully something semi-funny. Then we'll be back again on Wednesday for our regular episode of Shooting the Shit that we do on Wednesday nights at 9:30. And then, of course, we'll be back again next week for our regular episode on Friday night at 8:30 p.m. And we'll hopefully we'll have made a ton of money off the stock market between now and then. All of those times are Eastern Standard Time. That is the one and only true time zone. All the rest of you know who you are. Posers, right? Posers, John? Really? Kind of. I have the perfect face for it. I love it when people tell me beautiful things like that.
Right. Very sweet.
But we're going to get the hell out of here. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by. Ed, thanks for cramming in and jumping in. Nothing like a threesome with Ed to really sell the night. Before we get out of here, Ed, if you don't mind, can you tell them what, that famous close that I love to hear so much from you?
Oh, that close, the one that I love so much too. Never take the words of bloggers, podcasters, or journalists as gospel. Find all the facts and draw your own conclusions. Take care.
Beautiful. Peace out, folks.
See you guys.
The war will begin.